What's going on? What's going on, guys? This is your man, Real Deal, Steele, coming to you live on this special Friday night live edition of Steele Live. And it's so great to see you guys. This is technically my second show back after a super long, multi-month hiatus. But it's good to be back. We had a test stream that I think most of you guys missed about 3 or 4 nights ago. But we are back. We are on the move. We are in the groove. And we are going to do it to it, boppers, at least a couple nights a week from now on. So we're back. We've got the band back together, and we are ready to rock. We're ready to do it to it. What is good, my people? What's going on? Got some familiar names in the chat, some longtime members in the chat. By the way, those of you who kept your memberships active while I was on my hiatus, big thank you. For those of you who were members before, I would encourage you to come back. Feel free to come back and support the channel, support the show. I'm back. I will be doing at least a couple shows a week, and that loud noise is Remy. Remy's chewing on this marrow bone that I got her. It's like her favorite thing, and it keeps her preoccupied, but boy, is that thing noisy. So we might have to swap it out for something a little less intrusive. Remy, how about this? No, I don't think that's going to do it. We'll give her back the marrow bone, and we'll play it by ear. Who do we got in the chat? We've got... John Gio, what's going on? Kenny Potter, my nephew, what's going on, Kenny? Robbie Gilchrist, the Dolphin. The Dolphin is in the hizza. Always great to see you, Robbie. Been a long time, my friend. Hump Deezy. Yes, let's go, my friend. Hump Deezy, good to see you. Who else do we got? We got Mama Crypto holding it down. One of my longtime mods. Appreciate you, Mama Crypto. Scotty Suitcases. Yes, indeed. What stream would be complete without these fine folks? And, of course, the Zombie Doge Army. The beloved chat room legend that we've all become known to love, right? Naberto, good to see you as well. Elijah Peterson, you as well. Corey E., what's happening, my friend? Stormer144. RW, Wyland Out. What's up, Real Deal? Steele. What's up back to you, my friend? Wyland Out. Dan the Man, what's good with you? Alan Schneider, of course. Alex, what's going on? I think I about covered everyone that's active in chat so far. We got a couple super chats. I haven't said that word in a long time. Super chats from Robbie Gilchrist, $7. Thank you very much, my friend. Zombie Doge Army coming in with a $2 super chat with a Shiba smiling and leaning. I love it. What's not to love, folks? What's not to love? Anyway, if you feel compelled, by the way, to super chat throughout the duration of this broadcast, that's obviously hugely appreciated for the time and efforts put in, and to help keep the lights on over here at Steele HQ. Also, if you haven't hit that like button, if you just take a moment to do that, helps the algorithms and all that in our small slice of the interwebs. Without any further ado, got a cool show lined up for you guys tonight, and I see that my camera's kind of got my head cut off, so I just noticed that. So let me readjust it momentarily here. The camera's loose. It's on the loose, and I'm sporting my Miami Vice hat. That should be better. So let me pull up my notes. Definitely some interesting things to get into tonight. There's no shortage of stuff in this space. I mean, sometimes you got your slow news cycles, but right when you think it's going to slow down, all heck breaks loose, and the next day you got just a bunch of wild stuff to cover. And that's what makes this stuff so interesting. So we'll just get down to it, boppers. We'll start at the top of the pops with South Korea seeks to arrest developer of failed cryptocurrency Luna Terra. This story is about a day old, but I didn't get a chance to... It happened between the last time I broadcasted and now. And it's a pretty big story. It's a pretty amusing story. Unless you've been living under a rock, the founder of Luna Terra, Do Kwon, pretty much... We've probably seen what could be actually be described as the biggest rug in crypto history, for lack of a better term. But it essentially boiled down to the way it affected investors as such. So an arrest warrant was issued for a total of 6 people, including Do Kwon, who are currently residing in Singapore. A spokesperson for the prosecutor said on Wednesday, without elaborating on the reason. Kwon did not immediately reply to a Reuters email seeking to comment. The Singapore police force also did not immediately respond for a request to comment. The arrest order comes months after investigation and amid public outrage in South Korea over the collapse. Globally, investors in the two coins lost an estimated $42 billion, according to blockchain analytics firm elliptic. Terra Luna, so-called stablecoin. Yes, so-called stablecoin. That's what's ironic about it. Let me adjust my camera again. Sorry, it's the camera's a little loose here. I got to update the electrical tape. We're running a very high-tech operation over here, folks. The so-called stablecoin, which was once among the top 10 cryptocurrencies globally by market value, broke its 1.11 peg to the US dollar in May, plunging the value and sending the paired token Luna plummeting along with it. Unlike most of the other major stablecoins, which are backed by their assets, Terra Luna's value is derived from complex algorithmic processes. So, yeah, what do I think of this? I think he deserves it. Do Kwon, he really got really arrogant through all this. He became really full of himself to the point where the ego got to him so heavily that he just felt that the money train was never going to end. He couldn't lose no matter what moves he was making, right? And this really got to his head as exhibited in a lot of the interviews he made, even chiding his critics and saying, "I challenge you to try to take down Terra Luna. I bet you can't take down Terra Luna." And of course, this was an open call to hackers everywhere to do just that. And indeed, he reaped what he sowed, because in the end, that's just what happened. So it wasn't a secure network, and they didn't have the capital set up in place to incur such a situation from taking place. And this caused a very devastating, catastrophic effect. Of course, not just to everyone who invested in Luna, but including me. I was holding Luna positions for a while, but it just really ended up having a catastrophic bearish effect through the entire market that one could arguably say played a key role in leading to where we are now, and it played a direct role in making Three Arrows Capital not viable anymore. They certainly weren't ready for this sort of tumultuous environment. And what happened there is we saw several different major crypto exchanges, ones that were very respected like Voyager, go under as a consequence of their business relationship with Three Arrows Capital, right? Who were very tight and cozy with Do Kwon, which is no coincidence there. And then, so what happened is Three Arrows Capital built up this incredibly prestigious reputation for themselves as a company that was a big baller, a big player with endless bounds of capital to play with, where they could help out and make they expand through the help of loans through these companies like Voyager. So what happened is companies like Voyager and Celsius, they made these loans with Voyager, even more so, made these loans with Three Arrows Capital that were without collateral, right? So when Three Arrows Capital went down, all that money that they loaned to Three Arrows was not available to them when they needed it the most, therefore sending these exchanges into absolute downward spirals where they had to pause all the trading. And a lot of people, even including myself, and as you guys know, who've watched the show for a while, I was a big fan of Voyager, right? I was a big fan of Voyager. So I was absolutely shocked. And so what happened is a lot of my crypto assets are still frozen and in limbo, while the remaining are on a couple other platforms, but also on my cold Nano ledger as well. The latest development with that now is Binance has been making aggressive steps, flirting with the possibility of acquiring Voyager. Obviously, Sam Bankman-Fried from FTX has been making offers as well. And what they have opened up is an auction process where several other substantial interested parties with, substantial capital have been making bids. And so that's going forward. So if you're one of those people that has your assets trapped on Voyager, what do we do? Where do we go now? What do I think is going to happen? Well, I have been following this very closely for a pretty decent period of time, folks. And what I can tell you is what the most likely scenario is looking like is that I would say that there's a high probability of the majority, but not all of the assets coming back to those on who are holding positions on Voyager over a period of time. And what I mean by a period of time, I would approximate between the next 5 to 7 months. Maybe sooner, but I'm not sure. I'd be very surprised if it dragged on longer than 7 or 8 months, though. That being said, what are we looking at? We're probably looking at a haircut between 10 to 20%, maybe even up to 25%. So you're probably looking at a return of assets average at about 75 to 90%. 75% I think is less likely. I would guess from everything that I've been reading in the paperwork that Voyager customers will get about 80 to 90% of their assets back with a haircut, probably going to all of the absorbent court fees and everything else, right? So, look, if we can get out of this thing getting 90% of our assets back, I think that'd be a tremendous win given everything that's been thrown at this. So, it really is a true thing when people say not your keys, not your crypto. And for many people, that is the most secure option to go about it. And I was very humbled myself as well because, Voyager had built up this big reputation as being far and away one of the most responsible, kind of like conservative leaning crypto platforms out there that had extra business acumen on its team, but in the end, that didn't really prove to be worth much, did it? Now, again, I want to make the point that I do think that the main people to blame were 3 Hours Capital. Now, don't get me wrong, Voyager should have never made that loan without collateral. That huge loan without collateral is just ridiculous, right? That should have never happened. But 3 Hours Capital, at the end of the day, was who's most to blame, in my opinion. Now, I am for some basic regulations on these platforms, right? And what do I think that looks like? Well, I'm not keen on overregulation, and I do think our government oversteps a great deal. That being said, I think in order to reach the kind of mass adoption that most of us would like to see here in regards to cryptocurrency, digital currency, or what have you, is going to require some basic regulations just to cover the butts of the retail investors, so things like this won't happen again. And I do think it'd be reasonable, for example, to make it illegal for crypto exchanges to take your money and my money and put it towards massive loans without any collateral. Now, I'm not against these companies taking our capital, our assets, and kind of front-running them to advance in their best judgment, what they feel in their best judgment, to expand the company on behalf of their own profits and ours. That's kind of goes with the business of, doing business with these companies. But that being said, to take out massive loans without any collateral just puts everybody out for just a massive risk that was just so reckless and irresponsible. There's no excuse for it. No excuse for it. Anyway, let's see what's going on in the chat. Alan Schneider is having some beers. Scotty says, I hope you get it back. I know a few of you guys are in the same position as me. Not alone, Steven. I've got a lot stuck in there too. Sorry to hear that. I would also like to, and I did it last time, I also like to issue a formal apology for ever promoting Voyager on this platform. And I did. I promoted them off and on semi-regularly with my promo code and get people platformed on there if they wanted to. Honestly, because I was just a huge fan of the platform. Aside from everything that happened, I still think it's the most user-friendly. It's really quick. It's really efficient. You can operate it super efficiently, especially during those really time-sensitive moments that you really need to make trades to get the kind of results that you want to yield from them. Anyway, that being said, I would like to apologize because I didn't see it coming. So if anybody here listening has assets still holding on Voyager as a consequence of perhaps my recommendation, I sincerely apologize. But I feel awful about it, honestly. I feel awful about it, and my sincere apologies about that. I didn't see it coming. And it's always easy to say when things like this happen for people on the sidelines to be like, oh, I knew this was going to happen. And yeah, you do and you don't. Right, Remy? Right? She agrees with me. Remy's absolutely outraged about Voyager. That being said, the good news is I do think it's looking to be a strong probability that we are going to get the overwhelming majority of our assets back in the course of the next few months to come. So Latino Savage says, Steven, thank you for sharing our GoFundMe and your Twitter, bro. Me and the wife really appreciate it, brother. Yeah, you're very welcome. So Latino Savage, he's been a longtime member, supporter of the show, and longtime mod. Just a cool guy, great guy. And he's befallen on hard times. His son is in desperate need of a surgery that apparently their health insurance isn't picking up for him. So, we want to help out a community member in need. And I don't often I get asked to share GoFundMes a lot from people that I don't know. And I feel bad, but I respectfully have to decline every time. But I felt comfortable enough with Latino Savage that we've had a rapport for the last couple of years. And so I felt comfortable sharing that. And if you feel so inclined to help him out with that, you could just go to my Twitter page and see his GoFundMe retweeted. Now, Remy wanted to say hi. She's getting a little jealous. She wants a little camera time. And she is, of course, my unofficial co-hostess with the mostest. Remy, calm down. Please sit. Sit. Good girl. Good girl. I'm still here. She just can't stop saying hi. She missed you fine, folks. She loves the camera. She's certainly not camera shy. So we're just going to continue the show with here by my side. The real life Doge, right? The real life Doge. RW says, not your fault at all. How would you know? All good. I appreciate that. Appreciate the forgiveness. I try to do what's right, and we just try our best, and that's life sometimes. You know what I mean? Sometimes we can't see the curveballs. I'd like to add to a broader point on that. However, about exchanges, because Remy is making so much noise because I haven't streamed in a long time, and she gets jealous so easily when my attention is focused, when it's clearly focused somewhere else where she's not in my peripheral. She'll hem and haw, make noises, all this kind of stuff. And she had my Jeep key. She had my Jeep key to get my attention. Anyway, as I was saying, so not your keys, not your crypto, all that. That's very true. However, I don't believe that we will be able to accomplish and achieve mass adoption of cryptocurrency in the absence of platforms, in the absence of exchanges. As you recall, whether it's Bitcoin or Dogecoin or others, they would have never reached the heights in market values that they had accomplished had they not been available on exchanges. This idea that we are going to convert everybody strictly to nano ledgers is a fantasy, and most people just aren't going to do it. I'm not saying we should discourage people from doing that. I definitely think we should encourage people to get more familiar with the processes, and if they're particularly feeling comfortable with long-term holds, that's probably a great way to go. However, imagine day trading on a regular basis on a nano ledger. Very difficult to do, not realistic to expect. In order, again, to reach mass adoption, we need to make things more streamlined and easier for the masses, not more difficult. And another thing, too, that people never talk about, there is a risk with keeping your assets on a ledger, and that is if you lose your password or forget your password. You can't find anywhere. Well, good luck. You're done. So you got to make sure to keep that password triple backed up in some fashion in the event that it eludes you, right? In the event that it eludes you. So these are just things to keep in mind. That being said, I do think the most pragmatic way going forward is to rein in these platforms so they have basic regulations to protect people like us from egregiously stupid decisions like the ones we've seen made. And another thing too, it's really easy to say that without really thinking about it, because the market thrives and lives by different kinds of traders, the long holders and the daily traders. They need each other, right? They need each other to breathe and live. And I kind of gotten a spirited back and forth, shall we say, with one of the developers of the dog money the other day, and that person didn't really seem to have any appreciation or understanding, well, should we say appreciation, for the fact that without people regularly day trading and causing a demand out of their own self-interest for their own gains, their own fiat gains, there would be little to no demand for the development aspect. And I say this as someone who has an immense amount of respect for the engineering and development end of Dogecoin and these other cryptocurrencies, particularly because that stuff's all really outside of my zone. My brain just doesn't operate that way. I have a wholly different set of different skill set than that. I do not have an engineer's mind. But that being said, it's important that there's nothing wrong with people trading cryptocurrencies for fiat or holding and trading cryptocurrencies for fiat profits, and because they believe in a broader vision of converting to a society that includes digital currency on a mass scale as an alternative or replacement to fiat. That's great too. But there's this idea that we're supposed to go at each other's necks and demonize one group of people because they're doing this, they're participating this way, and these other group of people are participating this way, or these people are more important than these people, or I'm evil and people like me are evil because we're on more of the entertainment aspect and run YouTube channels, and these people are the real heroes and stuff like this. Like, to a degree, I do agree with them. As far as the real heroes go, I would concur. But at the same time, we're all contributing in our own way. Some of us are just really good at making memes and really good at being funny. And I don't say this exclusively to one community particularly, but I think we all bring something to the table, right? Depending on what our skill sets are, right? So just a few things I've been thinking about. Old boy says, thanks for all your financial advice, Stephen. This is not financial advice. Don't back me in that corner. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a dude with opinions, and you can take them for what they're worth. Keith hasn't changed a bit. I agree. I gave my brother and my parents a copy of the passwords too. Yeah, if you're trusting, you're good in with your family like that, I think that's probably a good idea. Anyway, let's see what the next story is, Morning Glory. What's the story, Morning Glory? Name that band. Name that tune, guys. Name that tune. And I had a few other articles here about the the warrant for the arrest of Do Kwon. I don't think we need to indulge in that much longer, do we? So the Ethereum merge is here. It happened, and it went off pretty much without a hitch. It kind of reminded me of the era of Y2K. I'm aging myself a little bit here. Y2K, remember that? People were all freaked out by Y2K. Are you Y2K compliant? The news would say they built up all this fear-mongering that the world was going to have some dystopian meltdown when the clock struck 12 and we went into the year 2000. And I remember having I had a little house party, a little soiree, if you will, of my bandmate at the time. And we were upstairs, people were having wine and hors d'oeuvres and food and all that stuff. And we were doing a countdown, 10. We were doing the minus 10 countdown, right? And right when we got to 1, all the lights went out in the whole house. And we freaked out. People were freaking out like, oh my gosh, like, has there been like a power breakage throughout the city, maybe throughout the country, what's going on? And what had happened is my friend who was hosting the party at his house, he went downstairs to the circuit breaker and he turned all the power off right as we got to counting to 1. I thought that was a pretty good gag. Anyway, the Ethereum merger was kind of giving me flashbacks to that sort of thing in terms of people's concerns and what have you. And at the end of the day, nothing really happened. Nothing really remarkable happened. We did see a slight pump followed by a bit more of a substantial dump. And that's what we're experiencing right now is, we got Ethereum, I still trading under 1,500. And I hate to tell you I told you so. And it's easy to say that because I'm not always right in my predictions. But I would say overall I'm more right than I'm not when it comes to these things. I did put out a video short. You can look at it on my channel. I'm sure a few of you saw it. Where I made my prediction on what I thought was going to happen in the event of the Ethereum merge. And I pretty much got it right. I said that I don't think anything remarkable is going to happen in terms of any difficulty in it happening when they switch it over. In terms of market value, I said don't expect to see anything super bullish or super bearish particularly. And I said it's going to start with a surge and end with it dumping a bit and then evening and stabilizing out about a week thereafter. So far so good. So far I got it pretty close. Let's see here. We've got a super chat from Erectile Reptile, one of my favorite usernames. You gotta love it, folks. Good to see you, Reptile. Steven, what have you been up to while you were gone? It's great to see everyone again. Fact. Your brain uses 10 watts of energy to think and does not feel pain. That's actually really good news. And again, a fun fact that I was not aware of. I'm just a sliver smarter than I was before I read your super chat. Erectile Reptile. Your brain uses 10 watts of energy to think and does not feel pain. So we hook these brain waves up to a dull light bulb, right? We could power one. And does not feel pain. Well, that's good. So what have I been up to? I got COVID. I got it real bad, folks. I got the COVID. Due to my, I don't think it would have been so bad, but due to my pre-existing conditions, it put all those pre-existing conditions on steroids. And it gave me the worst, longest flare-up of my life. Completely bedbound for months on end, consequentially. Now I'm just now starting to get up and around. For months I wouldn't have been able to even, because of that, I wouldn't have been able to even just sit up and talk to you guys here. And it was really, it's a really tough time. I'm just thankful I'm coming out on the other side of it now and getting back into action. So that's where I've been. And it took me a long while to heal. And I wouldn't say that the doctors really helped me at all. It was all alternative medicine and alternative stuff that helped and natural stuff that helped and a lot of rest. So thank you. Let's see what else is going on. Pamp it up, yo. Glad you're back. Thank you, Bo Juden. Remember, what was that rapper from about 10 years ago? Joe Budden? Pump it up. Johnny Crypto, good to see you in the mix. How's it going, brother? Glad to see you on the mend and back. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. It's good to be back in the flow, back on the go. And it's good to see you guys. It's good to see a nice little turnout here considering how late it is. In my neck of the woods, you're about 10 after 11. On that East Coast, you're 10 after 12. And if you're on the West Coast, it's still early. You got no excuses. Joe Budden, thank you for that, Scotty Suitcases. Yeah, that was kind of a jam. Did you start streaming the other night and shut it off? I didn't know if I was hallucinating or that really happened. Yes, that happened. And I just wasn't feeling up to it. Again, I really wanted to, but this health-wise, I wanted to, and I was trying to, and I'm like, I just can't do this. Zombie Doge Army, kaboom, member for 16 months. Appreciate it. Guys, if you deactivated your membership, come back to your man, Real Deal. You can become a member by clicking the link pinned at the top of the chat. Love to have you back in the fold. We're going to do it, and we're going to be consistently doing shows again, at least a couple times a week. And we'll be bringing guests in too. You know who I want to bring back in, who I really like having on, is journalist, author, actor, Phil Hall. Remember the last time he was on? I think you guys really liked him. He's been on twice now. We got to have Phil back. He's just like, he's a cool dude. He's just a really interesting guy. And last time he had the Bolo. We had the Bolo on. I was partying in Vegas for Y2K. It was cool. Oh, wow. That'd be a great place to be in the year 2000. Remember when, who was that? Conan O'Brien. He used to have that skit, in the year 2000. It's pretty good. Andy Richter. That's when Andy Richter was the co-host. You guys want to taste something really disgusting? There's cabbage juice imported from Asia, and it comes in bags like this. And you may ask yourself, why the heck would you deliberately drink this? Since I've been working on my gut health, my overall health has been improving, and cabbage juice is tremendously good for gut health. But you don't want to drink it unless you really got to, put it that way. It's an acquired taste. You know what? I've conditioned and disciplined myself to like, it doesn't matter how bitter or off-putting things taste. It doesn't even really faze me anymore. Phil is awesome. Yeah, we're gonna have Phil back. We're gonna have Sadaf Jadran back. I was just talking with Sadaf. We were texting back and forth, literally right up until the moment I went live. So we're gonna get Sadaf back in the mix. And we're just going to really pump up the community here, pump up the vibe that we got going here. Because I really do think that this community, I think we have a lot to offer. We may not be the biggest, but I think we're the best. And yes, I am biased. And I think there's just been a lot going out there since I was down for the count. I think there's been a lot of sea changes culturally and vibe-wise and tonality-wise. And I can't say it's my thing, folks. So I'll just put it that way. I can't say it's my thing. And so I think the positivity and fun that this community offers and injects into the scene is needed more than ever before. And that's what's so great. Honestly, and I don't just say this to flatter you guys, I think that we have the coolest little community here out of any YouTube channel I've ever seen. Honestly. I mean, we just attract... In my opinion, I think we just attract the most cool, exceptional people. Like the spikes, says Dingus Chubb. Some of these usernames, man, they make me smile. Like the spikes, says Dingus Chubb. I love it. Did you see BlackRock partnered with Coinbase? I did see that. I'm also very curious to see how things are going to play out with Coinbase's NFT platform to see if it will pose a serious rivalry with OpenSea. I think if any platform has the resources and potential to do it, it would be Coinbase. So be interested to see. It'll also be interesting to see where we go with NFTs. I think a lot of people have been disenfranchised, including myself to a greater or lesser degree, in terms of what we get back for these NFTs. I think the overwhelming amount of people are in the red from their NFT purchases. And so, but NFTs also create communities, right? And that can be very attractive. And also, if you have an extra appreciation, shall we say, for digital art, that could be really alluring as well as the utility packages that are kind of evolving as we move along with it. But I have to admit, back when I first got asked to promote a Doge X and be a part of that scene, that's when NFTs were so brand new to all of us. And it was kind of like still in the great experiment category where, hey, is this going to be worth a lot of money? And I remember even talking to you guys. I'm like, I don't know what these are going to be worth. I don't know. They could be Bored Ape. They could be not much. I don't know. What I do know is I'm excited and I'm learning, right? And things go the way they go. And Doge X community is, that's the thing too, is I don't think and maybe it wasn't malicious, I don't know, but I felt like the development team with them, they could have done a better job considering they minted out as many as they did, but who knows? Anyway, it's in the community's hands now, and since the community's taken it over, they've been really productive, and so at the end of the day, I think it worked out for the best. Steven, it's a good idea to go to the club by myself. I got nobody to go with, and I'm thinking of going. My friend, young man, it's absolutely okay to go to the club by yourself. Don't feel bad about that at all. Feel confident. Of course, do not go to the club until your man, Real Deal Steven Steele, has ended his broadcast. But then after that, this is what I want you to do. Erectile reptile. I want you to shower. If you got the beard like me, just trim around it nice. If you don't have a beard, get a nice shave on. Get looking fresh and clean. Put on a little cologne, but not that overly musky cologne, and not like the total body spray stuff either. Just something light and clean, right? Put a little bit of that on, splash it here. That always feels good after a shower, right? And then I want you to look lean, clean, and mean, and I want you to step into that club with your posture back, looking around like you own the place. Not cocky, just an inherent confidence like you own the place. And I want you, without hesitation, I want you to walk up to the first pretty girl you see and introduce yourself. And whatever you say comes out of your mouth, just make sure it's confident, cool, and collected. And from there, my friend, you've got this. You've got this. Hunter Wayne, what's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. Doge X says, I'm smoking. Smoking what, my friend? Robbie says, everyone tell me they like me. Everyone tell Robbie, like, we like you. We love you. We want some more of you. Robbie Gilchrist, my favorite influencer, my favorite Twitter influencer. I am so deeply influenced by Robbie Gilchrist every day. Glad to see you back, says Doge Extra. Good to be back, my friends. Good to be back. Good to be back. If you haven't smashed that like button, take a quick moment to do that. Take a split second of your time. Doesn't cost you a dime. Number one thing you can do to help out all our small sliver of the interwebs. Sorry, the phone alerts are going off. Let me turn that off. Let's see what else. Let's see what else we got here. I don't know if I really want to have anything to add about the Ethereum merge at this time. I mean, we could get into the techie stuff and all that stuff. I enjoy following that stuff to a certain degree, but I gotta admit, sometimes it bores me. And I think it bores me self-admittedly because I don't understand some of it sometimes, so that's part of it. And another part of it, I don't think I have a super strong passion for the engineering, a genuine intellectual curiosity for the engineering aspects. I try to build a more appreciation of it. I know I have a huge appreciation of it, but as far as understanding it, I understand most of it, but about 25% of it, I find myself having to reread stuff a lot. Gotta be honest. Let's see what else we got here. So Solana is looking to pivot itself to see more of an upside from Ethereum's merge. By the way, the last thing I will add on to the Ethereum merge thing, it is possible that we see a long, steady, bullish behavior in Ethereum because now it is deflationary since the merge, like actively deflationary since the merge has occurred, which of course the amount will continuously go down over a period of time, and the amount of Ethereum that's being burned right now will be substantial over time, which should cause an increase in market value for Ethereum as we keep going. So it's possible that even 1 year from now, we could be looking at a substantially higher value of Ethereum. It'd be really interesting to see how that deflationary scale of Ethereum pairs up with Bitcoin dominance, and if it can break free, if it can kind of urge it to break free from Bitcoin dominance and prompt it, so to speak. That was the word I was looking for. We'll see. But Solana co-founder sees upside from Ethereum merge. Raj Gokal, Solana's Labs chief operating officer, joined CoinDesk and talked about this and what it'd mean. So he's seen a very huge opportunity for Solana going forward as the merge happens. And I think he's making the case because they'll be even more so distinctly different than they were before. And I think he's got a case to make there. I think if there's any Ethereum alternative on the market there, Solana probably has the most reason to be most bullish in terms of who will be second in command as a Ethereum rival. But there's going to be many others as well, folks. Let's see here. What else we got? So the Dogecoin Foundation Twitter account put out a poll the other day. What do you think Sheebs will use the Doge Ethereum? What do you think Sheebs will use the Doge Ethereum bridge by Blue Pepper OK for? So the Dogecoin Foundation is partnering with a company called Blue Pepper OK to bring about and evolve a Doge Ethereum bridge. Some people are very excited about this, and others seem to be very ticked off about it. I myself, I think it's probably going to be a good thing, you know. But at the very least, if you think it might not be a good thing, let's talk it out. But people have been getting pretty hostile over that, and it's been landing the foundation in a fair amount of hot water. It is what it is. I've always thought the foundation has done a pretty fine job overall and their efforts. And I'm game for the Doge Ethereum bridge. I know Gary LaChance, who is a veteran holder and member of the foundation, is excited about it as well. But, it is what it is. I don't think I want to spend any more time on it. Daily Wire is reporting judge shoots down Twitter's attempt to access Elon's emails. Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk will not have to surrender his corporate emails amid legal battles with Twitter. The judge overseeing his case decided on Tuesday. Twitter is currently battling Musk in court over his attempt to cancel a previous offer to buy the social media platform for $44 billion. Layers representing Twitter have been attempted to compel the world's richest man to provide messages from his Twitter and SpaceX accounts, which had used to discuss the merger of advisors. Delaware Chancery Court Chancellor, say that 3 times fast, Kathleen McCormick denied the attorney's request on the grounds of an arrangement to violate the attorney-client privilege. This is actually obviously a very favorable decision by the judge for Elon Musk. I'll read one more small paragraph on this, then I'll give my thoughts and read your comments. Cynic might doubt that Musk's specific policies exist at SpaceX and Tesla. Still, to this jurist, the evidence rings true. McCormick continued, the court has little doubt that neither SpaceX nor Tesla view him on par with other employees, and he has the power of directional operational decisions, and that nobody at either company would access his personal information without obtaining his privilege. So sure. Now, this is something I talked about a little bit on my last stream back. I got to say, I'm a bit disappointed that Elon Musk is no longer trying to acquire Twitter. Now, I understand and I empathize with the bot problem. And the bot problem is really big. And the Twitter has been caught trying to cover up the extent of that bot problem, right? Really downplay it. And they really were caught hiding it and the extent of it. And the bot problem is absolutely out of control for Twitter at this time. And I could definitely understand why the initial offering that Elon offered Twitter, he would not want to adhere to, given that problem. But it seems like that has been the catalyst to completely back out of the deal altogether. And it seems that at this time anyway, it appears that Elon Musk has no interest in acquiring Twitter whatsoever. And now, of course, Twitter shareholders understand that's more than likely the most lucrative offer that they'll ever get. So that's why they're trying to get Elon to legally be bound to buying it. The problem is we had so much hope for a window of time because Elon seemed so keen and so determined to take over Twitter. Those of us who've been fed up with censorship and corporate censorship and shadow banning and deplatforming and throttling, and that's a lot of people for anything that's anyone has displayed as what the Twitter staff would deem to be wrongthink, or even have interests that they're not fond of. They will do those things to you, and it's been proven. It's been happening to a lot of people, unjustifiably, in my opinion. So when Elon came along, this was like this great hope, right? That things were going to finally change, and that we would change the kind of the paradigm and open up the mainstream village square of social media to be more favorable towards a variety of opinions and less favorable towards censorship. And then while making the platform more streamlined and modernized in some pretty key ways. But now that doesn't look like that's going to happen. I think it leaves a lot of people out in the cold, frankly, that really put their butts out there, really standing up for him and championing him to do that. So is it possible that Elon Musk is still playing this long chess game to eventually acquire Twitter? It's certainly on the table. So I would leave that back on the table, but that scenario is looking less probable. And overall, you guys know I'm a huge fan of Elon Musk, but that doesn't mean I'm going to rubber stamp everything that's going to happen, right? That doesn't mean I'm going to rubber stamp everything that he says, and or does, right? Rather. And this is one of those times. So, I tweeted something out to the effect of, if only there was a popular billionaire who had the resources, who believed in free speech, and wanted to solve the bot problem, could acquire Twitter to fix these things. But it doesn't look like these things are going to be fixed anytime in the near future. In fact, they arguably are already getting worse. So that's unfortunate. The bots are a massive problem. Don't get me wrong. But you know what's a bigger problem than bots? The bot problem? A cultural problem, a censorship problem at the behest of big tech. So that's just my take on it. See what you guys got going on in the chat. Tim H. Steven Steele is online. Rock on to you, my friend. I see that rock lock, and I'll meet you with the lock to your rock, my friend. Good to see you in the chat. Tim, thanks for holding on to your membership. Alex says Elon knew about the bot problem. He is a frequent user. Yeah, I mean, how could he not, right? How could he not? Do you keep in touch with Nick Balls? I do. And again, I was just talking to Nick via text earlier today. He and I definitely, we've been keeping in touch even more so recently. Been kind of reconnecting. So we'll have to bring Nick back in the mix for sure. Candy, good to see you. She says, what about the ADA Vassal hard fork? Gonna pump? Good question. And that is something I was going to cover on my next episode. So I'm glad you brought it up. And I'm still researching and learning more. But from what I've been able to gather, Candy, I think it'll more than likely pump more so than the the Ethereum merge. And I'll tell you why, because the ADA folks have more of a track record that I can see anyway with really bringing it to increase market value due to any specific perceived bullish events of ADA. I'm not saying it's going to go to the moon or anything, but I think the pump there will be a lot more substantial than Ethereum, if I had to guess. Let's see what else. Steven Steele Day is September 28th. You guys have a great memory. This is a better memory than me, and that's right around the corner. A little less than 2 weeks now is Steven Steele Day. Mark Lanigan from Queens of the Stone Age, Screaming Trees. Oh, Screaming Trees, they're a great band. And of course, Queens of the Stone Age as well. And hopefully our friend Jesse Hughes, we see him back in the mix once he learns that we are back on the air. It'd be great to see him as well. Rodrigo says, is it true that Dogecoin is now the second largest proof of stake, Stephen? If so, why was it not a big deal? Yes, number one, it is true. Two, why isn't it a big deal? Simply because the market's bearish. Dogecoin's trading between 5 and 6.5 cents. And I think that's why a lot of sort of news gets overlooked. And admittedly, I think I've got a Dogecoin fatigue, so that's probably part of it too. What else we got? The bots are out of control and growing, and the algorithm. Yeah, they've definitely been getting worse. Nearly lost you there. Yes, my friend. Oh, this is good. Great reconnecting with you guys. What else did I have here? There was I was about to let you guys go for tonight, but I don't think I'm going to do that quite yet. Because I feel like I'm overlooking something. I feel like I'm missing something that I want to talk about. So I'm going through my notes again for tonight, guys. So just hang in there. Remy, what are you eating? You know when your dog gets into stuff and they just eating stuff that they shouldn't have? That's what she's doing right now. I swear I was leaving something out. It might have to wait for the next show. Yeah, if you guys have any more questions, comments in the chat, I'm keeping a pretty close eye on the chat right now. We'll stay on for a couple more minutes and do it to it. Let's see. Tonight is Friday night, going into Saturday. When's the next time I'll stream? Possibly as soon as tomorrow night, but more than likely Sunday night. So keep the notifications on, all that stuff. Luna Classic, people are making out pretty well in Luna Classic if you've got in at a good position. Bad movies of the 2000s. Am I breaking up tremendously? Because on my screen it looks like I'm breaking up a lot. So I'm not sure how it's coming through on your end. Hopefully at least the audio is coming through clearly. Bad movies of the 2000s. Thank you for the reminder. I might have to wait before we do that. Dude, in the classic is going to the moon, mark my words. You very well could be right. I mean, the gains, and thank you. Thank you for the reminder. Okay, there's a couple things we're going to talk about. We might have to stream Saturday night as well. We might have to just come back Saturday night because there's a couple things I want to talk about Saturday night. I want to talk about the ascendance. I want to extrapolate on the ascendance of Luna Classic because I know some of you guys are making incredible gains on Luna Classic lately, and so definitely want to cover that for you guys. And I think it's interesting. I think it's a very interesting comeback. Let's see, what else? And I will cover bad movies of the 2000s on the next episode as well. So guaranteed those two for sure. We have a massive tech censorship problem, says Why Out. Again, I couldn't agree with you more. The bot issue is a problem, but it's not nearly as much of a problem as the censorship of Western civilization. And the loss of our freedom of expression, I think is far more important than a bot problem. And with all due respect to Elon Musk, I know that your initial deal doesn't look as good of a deal in lieu of the bot problem that's been uncovered. But, you know, Obi-Wan, you're our only hope. This is only man with the resources and the opinion, simultaneous opinion, on freedom of speech, be able to change the paradigm. But he's kind of leaving us hanging, right? He's kind of leaving us hanging. I hope it's some sort of long game, but I just don't think he really has any interest in acquiring Twitter anymore. And it's a bummer. It leaves a lot of people without hope or help in that regard. So hopefully we will finally see a formidable opponent, alternative in the alt-tech world that is viable. Anyway, guys, my voice is getting a little raw here. So I'm going to wind this one down, but I think I'll be back tomorrow night. So keep the notifications on. You guys know where to find me on Twitter. Appreciate each and every one of you. The few of you that super chatted, much love to you. Much love to everyone. Thanks again. Appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed it. And it's great to be back. It's great to see you guys engaged. And I will probably see you guys tomorrow night. So until next time, this is your man, Real Deal, Steven Steele, signing out. Thanks, guys.